my name is Cassie Johnston. I'm from Toronto. I grew up in Mississauga. I have 2 older brothers, a mom. I work in IT recruiting right now. Went to school for fashion, and yeah, that's a little bit about me. I had my first seizure when I was in grade 12. I was in Greece on a school trip. Had my first seizure while I was sleeping. My roommate found me convulsing. I went to the doctor in Greece. He told me that I had epilepsy. We flew home right away. The doctor told me I didn't have epilepsy. So I kind of lived in this limbo for 4 years and not knowing that I had epilepsy. The doctor said I didn't. And then I just started having them back to back to back for 4 years. And I would just always have them in the morning. And yeah, I was finally diagnosed and, tried to have, some answers and never really got them as to why I was having them, and was trying different medications, and I still am to this day. And yeah, it's just been an ongoing uphill battle of having epilepsy. When I came back, the doctor told me I didn't have epilepsy. So I just had these 4 years of not having epilepsy. So I wasn't medicated, which now looking back is very scary. Yeah, when I finally was diagnosed after I'd had multiple seizures, that's when I was finally put on medication, which I had to become an advocate for my own health. And I think that's something that's super important, is you need to become an advocate. And I found the right doctors and neurologists that, really wanted to figure out what was going on with me. Also, at the time that I started having more seizures, I started losing my hair as well. So that was part of my journey as well. And so those kind of went hand in hand. Was my seizures started happening and my hair started falling out. And so that's how it kind of all came together. It's scary. It is hard. You don't ever want to sugarcoat it. I think the unknown of it is what makes it so difficult and so stressful. I personally don't get an aura before my seizures. So when I wake up in the morning, I have to take like an hour or so. I put on a helmet when I wake up every morning. Well, as you can see, I don't have hair as well. So the helmet kind of keeps my head warm as well. So it's kind of a win-win situation. But it's scary. You don't know when they're coming on. It's can be embarrassing as well if you have a seizure in public. You feel almost like a liability as well for people around you, or you feel like a burden as well, and that's challenging to kind of overcome. There's a lot that comes with it, but I think it's just taking one step at a time every single day and putting one foot in front of the other and finding the right doctors that want to take care of you and find the answers. So, that's what I've been doing, is just every single day trying to find the answers to, figure out what's causing my seizures. Like, we still don't know. I'm still in the process of finding different medications, and it's trial and error, right? Like, I've tried so many that still don't work. I'm still having seizures. So it's hard and it's scary. Yeah, so I don't get them, but I know people that I've chatted with as I've, put myself out there and have been speaking about my epilepsy. And some people say that they get this like fog, or they start seeing double, or some sort of stuff like that, or their jaw will start to clench. It's a girlfriend of mine said that, and I don't get that. So mine will just come out of nowhere. And for some reason, my seizures happen when I'm always in the bathroom. I don't know why. It's like me in the bathroom just don't have a good thing going. I think what's scary is with my seizures, always comes a concussion. And so that also sets me back a lot too. And that impacts my work. Like, my worst seizure happened 6 months ago, and that took me out of work for 6 months. So I couldn't work for 6 months, and those lingering side effects come as well. And then you get put on a different medication, and those side effects come with that as well. Like, it's just, it's an ongoing battle that you have to overcome, and you just got to also stay positive through it all as well, because there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can change about it. Yeah, I would say misconceptions would be that people assume that you just take one medication and it's done and over with and you're good to go and hunky-dory. For me, in 2023 to 2024, I didn't have a seizure at all. And so I thought I was on the perfect medication and everything was great, and I celebrated that win and I was super excited about that. And then I had my seizure and I was so upset about it because, you feel like you're getting into this great place and you found the answer and the right medication for you. And then, you're back to square one of going to your doctor of like, okay, what's next? Where are we, going from here? And so I think that's a big misconception and back to a challenge too. And then I think when it comes to a stigma, and something that I struggled with at the beginning of my diagnosis was you feel almost like a burden. But as, I've come to terms with it, I realize that I'm not. And this is just who I am and take it or leave it. There's nothing I can change about it at the end of the day. It's something that, it brings resilience to me. It's made me who I am. It's brought, this power and this power horse behind me. And it's the reason that I am who I am. And yeah, it's brought this confidence to me as well. Surgery hasn't been an option for me yet. I don't think I have seizures enough for that to be an option for me. But when it comes to medication, we're still trying to navigate that. I've been on 4 or 5 medications. I'm still having seizures. So we're still trying to navigate that process. And it's a lot of trial and error. So, with people that do have epilepsy, they understand that process of trying a medication. You start with putting yourself on it. It takes about like 3-4 weeks, and then you're on it. You see if you have any side effects, if you're still having seizures, and then you wean yourself off. And with that comes so many side effects, the brain fog, grogginess, all that good stuff. And then you have to wean yourself off if it's not working. And that is just such a process in itself. And with that comes with seizures as well, because, maybe a medication isn't working with you and your body doesn't agree with it. And with that, comes a lot of testing as well. And yeah, for me, as I said, we're still in the process of figuring out the right medication for me. So as of right now, we're still figuring it out. Yeah, I definitely would explore surgery. Like from the MRIs that I have had, I know there's a calcium buildup in, I believe it's my frontal lobe. If that did get larger, I would explore surgery. I would very much be open to that if it were to get rid of my surgeries. Because, if there's a life of not living with epilepsy, I would obviously explore that. If there isn't that avenue for me and there's another person in this world that would need that more than me, then absolutely that needs to go to them before me. I think it's so important to shine on light on such a, it can be just such a dark topic. Raising money is just so important to go towards research. It living in this unknown is just so unfair and nobody should go through this alone. It can be such a hard and sad process to go through. And the more I've spoken out and the fact that I have a platform to do so, the amount of people that have reached out just being like, I don't want to be alone in this. I want to just be able to talk to somebody and, have a conversation with somebody about it all is just so empowering. And, I think that also ties into what Epilepsy Canada does, is how you guys have created this sense of community as well. And that's so important because nobody should be going through this alone. And I think people with epilepsy need to lean on each other because it's scary. It's hard. And there's so much that goes into it. There's so much testing. There's so much unknown. There's, so much work that needs to be done. And that starts with fundraising. That starts with raising awareness. That starts with, raising funds. That needs to happen to get where we need to be to find a cure. And it starts with raising money. I started fundraising a month ago. So very recent, and I love it. It's been so much fun, and I've met so many great people, and it's just building a network that I never thought I would ever be a part of, and I absolutely love it. It's just been such an amazing experience. It's been amazing exposure, and it's been great for me too. Like, I didn't expect to meet so many incredible people, like, especially within Epilepsy Canada, but outside of that, like people with epilepsy, and just chatting with people that maybe have seizures 10 times a day, or people that have only had one seizure and they're still living in this unknown of not knowing when their next seizure is going to happen, but they want answers as well. So it's been just such a amazing experience to have just all of these people come together and be one, and all of us wanting to find the answers of, you know, hopefully never having to have a seizure again. I think it's important to me, and I'm so new to Epilepsy Canada. I only really came into you guys a month ago, really, and I came in guns blazing. I was like, I did my research and chatted with you guys, and I was like, you guys are incredible with what you do, and I want to just jump on the bandwagon. I think because you guys really focus on the community of people with epilepsy, and you focus on the people first. And I think that's incredible in itself. And you focus on hope, and you focus on, prioritizing the people. And that research goes towards finding an answer and finding a cure. And you guys, help to find that community too. And I think leaning on one another is just so important, because people can feel so alone when it comes to having epilepsy, because people get scared too of not wanting to talk about it. They can feel embarrassed, they can feel, really alone. And so I think Epilepsy Canada is really, really, really great at helping people find a way to come together. And you guys do such a great job on your social media, your website, and doing things like this, of just having people talk about their stories. And so I was like, absolutely, I want to be a part of this. Finding a cure. And, that's going to take a very long time. There's obviously so much that goes on behind the scenes with doctors that I'm not a part of, but there's only so much that I can do in the face of the presence of finding a cure and raising money. But I think what I can do is building a sense of community, and that's where my impact can come into place. And that's what I want to continue to do, is just know that I'm here if people want to talk. And that's what I want to use my platform to do.